We love featuring artists you should know about. Today we're heading to Alabama to chat with Americana folk duo Sugarcane Jane. Sugarcane Jane are based out of Loxley, Alabama. They're led by dynamic husband and wife duo Anthony and Savana Lee Crawford. They just released their brand new album called On a Mission this month, along with the first single, Burn. We're stoked to have Anthony and Savana Lee from Sugarcane Jane on the show. First, guys, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Good morning.
Yeah. They're heading to go pick up their dog right now. Hopefully the dog's all right.
Well, we had to have her spayed, you know.
Oh.
Just a year old. And, yeah, we went through the whole heat cycle, and I don't recommend it.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Your pet's spayed or neutered.
Yeah, exactly. Help control the pet population. Well,
that's right.
You guys are interesting because Anthony, well, you're both from Alabama. Anthony moved to Nashville when he was like in high school to become a musician. And boy, what a career, Anthony. I mean, Neil Young, Dwight Yoakam, Steve Winwood. I mean, we could do a whole interview all about your past. But first, you stopped all of that in like 2009. You met Savana in 2000. When did Sugarcane Jane? Was it after everything was done? When did that all come into the mix?
Well, I think the last show that I did with Neil was at Jazz Fest before, I think, maybe Savana and I started, when was it?
Well, we started Sugarcane Jane in January of 2009. Anthony and I was still touring with Neil at that time. I think Jazz Fest was in May. And then he did like Farm Aid, I think in 2010. But other than that, maybe playing with Peggy Young, Neil's wife, he was doing that for a while as well. So we started Sugarcane Jane in January of 2009, but it was sporadic for that first couple of years because of his touring schedule.
Yeah.
We've been going strong ever since. So it's coming on 15 years now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and this is what, the third album, On a Mission?
Well, it's the third album that we've pushed nationally, but it's actually the 11th album that we've recorded together. So
oh, wow.
You can find our other CDs on our website. We haven't put them out. Actually, we put them out and then we took them off because just, you know how it is with just all the streaming platforms. They don't really pay the songwriters very well. And so we have our moments where we get irritated and we'll delete everything. But they'll probably be back on there. You know, you just can't avoid it. It's just times are changing.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you guys have started your own life together. You got 3 kids. I saw your daughter just sang the national anthem, so she's not falling too far from the tree.
She did. Yeah, we're so proud of her. She's 13, and all the kids are you know, they're musical. They actually performed on Woodsong Kids. We're excited about that. They're on season 2.
Oh, now they're back. Oh, we lost you for a second. Savana, you mentioned this Woodsong Kids. Is that your kids? Is that Anthony teaching them? What is that?
Well, Woodsong Kids is it's a program that is going on in Lexington, Kentucky, and they typically, it was just Woodsong old time radio, and they still have artists all over come and record, but they started a program called Woodsong Kids, where they're getting kids from across the country to come perform as well. And so we brought our kids up there. We've done a couple of shows with them, but it's actually going to be broadcasted on PBS. They're on season 2, so we're excited about that.
Well, that'll be cool. So keep your eye out for that. Woodsong Kids. Maybe you can see them all on PBS. Now, looking at you, Anthony, you were with Neil Young for, like 20 years when you go through the whole perspective of things, but you were with him with this Neil Young and the Shocking Pinks. Were you one of the 3 guys in the Wandering video, one of the guys in the car?
Yeah. I was one of them. In that video, when we all get in the car and the driver takes off, and he actually had it in reverse instead of forward. And I'm the one that turned around or looked real quick, But yeah, I had a great time in that whole period of Neil Young. You know, he experimented with all kinds of different styles of music, and that was not one of the more popular ones at the time. Excuse me. But as it turned out, to me, the music was fantastic. Great players. He had Ben Keith, Tim Drummond, Carl Himmel, you know, just Spooner Oldham, just some great musicians, and I was fortunate to be so young but be around such a powerful musical entity like Neil Young. I always was a fan of his, but to be able to play music with him was surreal. And, you know, it's still a great thing to look back in my memory and all the things that I was able to be a part of. It's a rare thing for any musician. And then I was able to do that with Steve Winwood and Dwight Yoakam and others. You know, you go down to Vince Gill or Rodney Crowell, Roseanne Cash, just so many people. I've really been fortunate to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, you were with Neil before the Shocking Pinks. Were you kind of shocked when he came up with this idea, or what were you guys thinking?
Oh, well, I joined in with Neil to do the very first recordings that he did of an album that turned out to be Old Ways was the name of the album. And I met him in Nashville. I was having breakfast. I remember eating a bowl of Cheerios and got a phone call from his manager that said, if you want to be on a Neil Young record, meet us at the studio at noon. And you know, that was something that I never thought was real.
Yeah.
But I did show up, and there he was. And within about 5 minutes of being there, I was in a vocal booth with Neil singing on a song. So that's where my career basically took off.
Yeah, that's
it with Neil.
Amazing. We're chatting with Sugarcane Jane. Go check them out there at sugarcanejane.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. Their brand new album, On a Mission, is out now, and you're going to hear their single Burn here in a minute. Well, and Savana Lee mentioned Live Aid. I think you did Farm Aid too. Did you watch the We Are the World documentary on Netflix?
I have not.
Because you need to watch it, because you probably experienced it with Live Aid and Farm Aid. How crazy was it backstage? Was everybody hanging out?
Yes, I do have a little bit of a story about that. I left Nashville to do Live Aid, and one of the buses broke down, so most everybody got on the other bus, and it was so crowded, I thought, well, I'll just wait for the replacement bus and then ride up there. So it wound up being just me on that second bus, and I don't think the driver had a real clue of when the show started. So when I finally got to Philadelphia, where the concert was, I believe it was, I had about 15 minutes to get from the bus into the facility, and I had no credentials. Nobody had given me anything, so I had to tell the guy at the back gate, I'm playing in the band with Neil Young, and of course he said, oh, sure you are. And I did say, look, if I'm lying, you can just go ahead and whip me up and down. You can beat me up all you want. But I promise you I'm supposed to be up there. So he was excited about that. So he took me back, and they finally got me in backstage. And when the door opened, I saw everybody from, you know, just like Rick Ocasek or Tina Turner, just all the people that you've seen all your life, Crosby, Stills, and Nash type people everywhere. It was like a Star Wars movie, you know, the bar scene of Star Wars, all these people. It was just surreal.
But didn't they, whoever it was?
Yeah, the road manager, when they opened the door, the guy goes, hey, do you know this guy? And my tour manager, he looked at me, he goes, I've never seen him before in my life. And so I was like, oh my gosh, tell him for real. So it was a fun moment, a great memory. But yeah, those backstage areas were filled with personalities
Oh, I'll bet. I mean, you were
Yeah.
you were on Letterman. I mean, was it like surreal when you were on some of those late night shows, or what were you feeling?
Oh yeah, yeah. When you get to that level, and once you start doing those kind of shows, it does have a little bit of a, the element of surprise wears off. But the very first time to do them, you certainly just feel like you've hit the lottery when it comes to just exposure and just things that very few people get to do. And to shake David Letterman's hand on TV and all that kind of stuff. It's surreal and a great memory.
Yeah. If you go to YouTube, there's a video of you, Anthony, at your home studio, Admiral Bean, which is right behind their house in Alabama. You play like 10 instruments during the video. It's incredible. What was your first instrument? What started it all?
Definitely the guitar. I have been playing that, early on in my preteens, I'm 8 or 9 years old, somewhere in that area. But from that, I just took whatever I learned on the guitar and just applied it to other instruments. I started playing the banjo and the mandolin and most every instrument that had strings on it. I bought a pedal steel, and then I found out how to play the piano, drums, bass, that kind of thing. But the main love for me was learning how to record. So I always had a multi-track recorder, a TAC 4-track when I was a kid, and now I've got, a really nice studio, and I've always loved producing music, just making music up.
Yeah. He's written over 400 songs. If you go check him out, go check out Sugarcane Jane, sugarcanejane.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, X. Their brand new album, On a Mission, is out now. The cover of On a Mission is kind of a little different twist. You guys laying on a beach. Whose idea was this, Savannah?
Well, this was actually not a planned photo shoot or anything like that. We were playing a songwriter festival in Pensacola Beach Songwriter Festival. It's kind of just a favorite spot of ours to do every year because we just get to get away and take a weekend and just hang out at the beach. It's a lovely time, and that's what was happening in it. So it was actually from, I guess it was last year when we were there for the Songwriter Festival, and we were just randomly taking some photos, and then I actually do all the graphics for us, so when I was trying to figure out what to do, I knew that the album was going to be coming out in March. You got spring break and then summer, and it's kind of got that 70s feel to it, and the music does as well because a lot of these songs were found on some DAT tapes. They're older songs that Anthony had that I had never heard before because I had only gone through all of his CDs that he had. So we were recently surprised with the DAT tapes. He started just taking the music off of that, and we found a lot of these songs. So it had that 70s vibe and kind of put that tint on the beach pictures and just made it feel like we were living the dream back in the 70s. It was cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Go and check out the cover for On a Mission. I listened to On a Mission. Great album, but how hard was it to pick Burn as the first single?
It was random. We just thought, well, let's just do this one. What, right?
I think we had some outside input, because we're so busy with 3 kids and our tour schedule and all, and Anthony's producing other artists and different things that we're doing. So, believe it or not, there's not a lot of thought going into most of the things that we do. Everything's pretty spontaneous, and we just throw it out there and hope it sticks.
Yeah, because, We Live, Put It in Your Pocket, Love Moved Her Along, lots of great songs on the new album. So go and check it out for sure. You mentioned playing live. You got an album release show this Saturday with Savana Lee in Birmingham, Alabama. You guys have lots of dates. You guys love playing live.
We do. We love it. We just enjoy the time together and singing together. It's just, I don't think we'll ever stop. There's no retirement in our future.
No, not at all.
We want to come up to Wyoming and play some shows.
That'd be great.
Oh, we'd eat you guys up in Wyoming.
Well, we're headed
Wyoming, Montana.
We're going out to California in May to do a show in Grass Valley at the Strawberry Festival, and we don't really have any kind of definite trip plans on the way back necessarily, and you just never know. I mean, life is short, and you just want to try to go see and do whatever you can, and there's so much beautiful things to see, so many things to see in the United States. So anybody up there want to have Sugarcane Jane, give us a call.
Yeah, we do, for sure.
Yeah.
The guitar solo on Burn, I imagine this is you, Anthony.
Yeah, guilty. I'm a one-man band. I play the drums and the bass and all that stuff, and I try to make it sound like different people play, and I really like having just the unperfected sound of it. I've got Pro Tools where I could sit there and move everything and make it perfect, but we like to leave it raw. And the guitar solo actually was fun to play. I was exhilarated at how it turned out. I thought it was one of my better solos, I guess. So thanks for saying that.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a burner on the song Burn. You're going to hear it here in just a second, that's for sure. Well, it's funny because I was going to ask about the album because it does. It has like the old feel. It's a familiar feel. So these songs were like in your back catalog, or I mean, how long were they sitting around?
Some of them for 20 plus years. You know, I'm going through a toll booth real quick. Hang on. Hello there. You know, most of them were written at least 10 years ago. Thank you, sir. You know, I just have so many songs that it's hard for me to really think that I need to write more.
Yeah.
And because I just really want to give the ones that I've already written a chance to live. So I go back through my past and pick songs out that are relative to what's going on today. And oddly enough, some of the songs that I wrote really describe how I feel about Savana and all. And I didn't even really know I was writing them for her at the time. But most of all my songs that have any kind of meaning about love or anything, I don't know.
But some of these from this particular album are new, like Spirit Push and Last Day.
Yeah. I did write several of them more recently, you know, but a lot of them are just old tunes that I had.
Oh, well, they're great tunes. Go and check it out. Sugarcane Jane, the brand new album On a Mission is out now, along with the single Burn, and you're going to hear it right now. Anthony, Savana Lee, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. What a great morning. Thank you so much.
It's Sugarcane Jane. It's Burn. It's KIX 96.5.